Welcome back to Hobby Jogger Elite, and welcome to what may be the most important video I have made to this day. We're doing a half tight rankings video. Now, I've done one of these before. It is almost a year in the past at this point. I've tried new half tights since that original video, but it warrants being updated. So much so that my previous race day pick for the half tight has been dethroned 3 times over. So we're going to give you an updated ranking as of now, fall of 2023, for the absolute best half tights for your upcoming race, especially when it comes to the long distance stuff, the marathon. And this is such an important topic that it is by far my previous most popular video on this channel, likely the reason why many of you found Hobby Jogger Elite to begin with. And I just need to update this list. So we are talking half tights today. Now I am going to briefly, yet still comprehensively, touch on some of the half tights that I discussed in the original video. And if I'm not discussing ones from the original video, that's because they've been completely cut out of the rotation, or they're not even worth mentioning when it comes to the absolute best half tights. First half tight, we're going to discuss one from the previous video, the one that I raced my first 2 marathons in. That is the Janji half groundwork tight. This is the black color, obviously. This is one of my favorite tights to this day, and I'm not necessarily using it for race day at this point. This is more geared towards a sort of trail racing and trail training clientele, which is not my forte, but they are still perfectly capable on the roads. I just find them to be a little built up, a little thick, a little warm for racing. I do enjoy them for training, especially for long runs, as they have as many pockets as any tight I have ever tried before. They have 2 very nice pockets on the side that could each hold upwards to 2 to 3 gels. I think you could comfortably carry up to 8 gels in this without much of a problem. It also has a nice pull through pocket in the very back, which is good for maybe it gets hot in the middle of your run, you want to take your shirt off and pull it through there. Or I'm able to fit my iPhone 12 in there quite comfortably without much complaint. There's absolutely no bounce when it comes to these because they are a more compressive half tight. They are very much so a warm tight, in my opinion. These would be good for a colder race, but I typically sweat a lot during marathons and races, training in general. I don't think these are the best for summer training, for instance, and I have found myself sweating more in these half tights than any other pair I have, but they also happen to have the most storage capacity out of what I own when it comes to the half tight. These are the original version of the Janji groundwork half tight. There have been updates in terms of the material used, in terms of the thickness. So I think the updated ones are a little bit better than the original. They are a little bit more affordable compared to some of the other half tights I'm going to be talking about. So I would recommend these to somebody who hasn't tried half tights before, especially if they're doing a lot of cold weather running coming up here in the fall and the winter. Not my top pick, but still definitely a solid tight. The next half tight I'm going to talk about, not for much else than its storage capacity and its frequent affordability, is the Nike Trail half tight. There's also I believe it's called a Lava Loops version of this, which is much more pricey, but has much more storage. And I've heard good things about them. I've seen runners like Ben Johnson run full marathons in them quite comfortably. So those are worth checking out if you're into Nike Trail and into the storage capacity for it. These are a pretty normal half tight. They do come with an inner liner, but I cut it out because I was so uncomfortable with it. I think Nike makes some of the absolute worst inner liners for shorts and for half tights, and I always end up cutting them out. Now, when it comes to this tight, I would be comfortable running a marathon in them because of, again, the storage capacity. It has a nice big pocket here on the back that, again, has a pull-through function that you could fit something else even in that back pocket there. And then it has these pockets on the side as well that I've been able to fit comfortably about 2 gels in at the most. So I would say if you're somebody who doesn't bring a phone with you, is only looking to bring gels, you could fit at least 2 or 3 gels in this back pocket and then a solid 2 here. So if you're taking 6, 7 gels during a marathon or a long run, you could definitely rock with these. It also has a pocket up in the front for maybe a key or some other valuable, and it has these external drawstrings as well as these loopy pull-throughs here for maybe a shirt, maybe trekking poles, whatever you might be doing while you're wearing these tights. Again, these are probably the most affordable out of all these tights. They are frequently on sale, different colorways and everything, but out of every single tight I will be mentioning, these would probably be my last place pick. But when it comes to extremely affordable tights with plenty of storage, they are probably at the top of that. The next half tight, again from Nike here, one that I mentioned in my previous video, the Nike Aeroswift tights. And I took the advice of many despite feeling a little bit rebellious, feeling like I shouldn't have to make alterations to a product that costs almost $100 like a product with the Nike Aeroswift tights. I ended up cutting out the inner liner here, and they are about 1,000 times better at this point. Again, I just wear my own sports briefs under these, and these feel absolutely amazing. These are some of the most breathable when it comes to the half tights I've tried, and honestly, the most comfortable out of all the half tights I've tried before. But the only problem is I don't find the storage elements to these half tights convenient in the least. There's only one external pocket when it comes to the Nike Aeroswift tights, and it is a very awkwardly sized one on the back, one that may have fit iPhones back in like the iPhone 5 and iPhone 4 days, but at this point it feels like you are going to tear these half tights apart when you try to fit something like an iPhone 12, for instance, in this back pocket. Just takes a lot of jimmying around, isn't very comfortable once it's in there. These probably have the most bounce with that back pocket out of any of the tights I've mentioned, and I just don't really enjoy carrying something like that. I don't run with my phone all that much anymore, especially when it comes to workouts, long runs, races. But yeah, if you're somebody who wants to take your phone with you, this isn't the best tight for it. All the pockets for this are internal. So if you are taking gels with you, but you're also trying to like cinch down the fit with the drawstrings, you're gonna have to like reach inside of your waistband to access your gels, which I find much less convenient, much less comfortable when it comes to long runs and races. And when you're trying to be super intentional, sort of on the spot with those during a marathon, for instance, it's just not nearly as convenient as sort of external side drop-in pockets, loops, whatever else it might be. So there are 4 pockets in addition to the foam pocket in the back. They are all pretty small compared to these other tights. And again, they are all internal. So I would say these are the most comfortable of the half tights that I own, some of the most breathable, probably the best for hot weather runs. And if you don't have to carry a ton of fuel with you, these will probably get you by pretty well, although they will cost you quite a bit as they are very rarely on sale. So I like the Nike Aeroswift tights with the inner liner removed from them, but definitely not my top pick because not a ton of storage. And finally, the last half tight that I mentioned in the original video, the Tracksmith Reggie tights. These are right up there in terms of comfort. When it comes to the Nike Aeroswift tights, they are pretty expensive. The unlined version isn't quite as expensive. It's only in the $75 to $80 range, I do believe. The only downside with this tight, as it is right there in terms of top level comfortability with the Nike Aeroswift tights, and one of the pairs of half tights that I enjoy reaching for the most in training and racing, is its lack of sort of customizability and storage. It has one single pocket in the back. So if you are using these for, say, a marathon where you're taking gels with you, you're gonna have to be very economical with what you put in that one back pocket, which is a zipper pocket that allows for a decent amount of storage, but that is the only pocket you are going to get, and it doesn't have a drawstring either. So these are a pair that I don't know if you're really going to be able to try on inside of a store unless you have a physical Tracksmith store around you. But in terms of affordability, these are up there when it comes to these half tights in terms of them being more affordable rather than less affordable. I do find them to be right up there as the most comfortable half tights I've ever tried. But after running my previous marathon in these and feeling comfortable the whole entire way, they have been dethroned. So now is when we get into the 3 new pairs of half tights I've tried since the last video that have now surpassed all of these previously mentioned ones. So the 3 new half tights, the final 3 contenders. Let's start with one that absolutely wowed me immediately, the Rabbit Speedsters. These are an absolutely amazing pair of half tights that combine all of the things I love from my previously mentioned ones into one single package that is probably the most affordable out of all of these. And it seems like Rabbit Running always has a promo code available, free shipping promo code, coupon, whatever, or they're just having sales on their stuff around holidays, whatever it might be. I think I got these for somewhere in the $60 range, which in terms of their versatility and use case basis is absolutely top end when it comes to all of these. It has a very sizable back pocket, which you could fit, I don't know, 3-4 gels in probably, as well as drop in side pockets there, which you could fit. I've comfortably fit 3 Huma gels in each drop in side pocket before for my long runs and haven't had any complaints. These are some of the most comfortable as well. There's no internal liner, but there is a center seam, which can definitely, provide some issues for people at times. I don't find the center seam to be all that desirable when it comes to male runners in terms of comfortability, but I seem to get by in these despite that center seam. And yeah, overall, these kind of score the highest marks when it comes to how much they cost compared to how useful they are. They feel very thick. They are the heaviest half tight that I own, but for some reason they don't feel all that warm in the warmest summer long runs that I have done. They feel super capable when it comes to workouts, and they are slightly compressive, which I enjoy in a half tight actually. So when it comes to this whole list, these are probably what I would recommend to people who are looking for the most versatile storage packed half tight at the best price, the Rabbit Speedsters. The next contender for my top running half tight and top marathon half tight are the Lululemon Fast and Free half tights. These are ones that definitely surprised me, a pair that I had wanted to try for quite a long time. I have run everything from the fastest VO2 max speed workouts I've done before up to 22-mile long runs in these, and I felt comfortable the whole entire way. There are times when I'm not sure if they could go the full marathon distance at a marathon pace in terms of comfortability. They do feel a little bit looser, a little bit, I don't know what it is. They retain a lot of moisture when I sweat. There is this very odd sort of inner liner. It's like a half attempt at an inner liner, so you don't have to wear briefs with these, but it's not the least comfortable inner liner, but you do notice it from time to time. But I've noticed it less than I have, if that makes sense. But I absolutely love these as a half tight. Again, they have huge drop-in pockets on the side with multiple pockets inside. I've fit, 3 or 4 gels in each drop-in pocket. There is a pretty small pocket in the back, which could probably fit your car key in and maybe 1 gel, not a lot else. And then other than that, it has these loops on the side. So these are actually solid for trail running if you need to carry something extra, or for hot weather running if you want to take your singlet or your shirt off and hang it over this. I did that in my most recent half marathon, helping my brother to his PR. These felt absolutely great going at the half marathon distance. They are a bit pricey. That seems to be the consequence of buying anything from Lululemon, but I would say they are surprisingly capable when it comes to lightweight comfortability as well as storage. So the Lululemon Fast and Free half tight, one of my favorite half tights I've tried since the original half tight video, and definitely a contender for the marathon half tight. So those were 2 of my top 3 half tights. We're just gonna get right to it. This was more of a tier video. The first set, they have been dropped out of contention. The Lululemon Fast and Free, the Rabbit Speedster, they're in my top 3 for marathon half tight consideration, but these are the current lead. The winner for my half tight comparison and ranking video, it's the Bandit running half tights. And these are the Super Beam ones that include not 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 total pockets. Yes, 7 pockets that are all extremely roomy, accessible, in a very comfortable package. These have absolutely blown me away. I have wanted these for so incredibly long, and every time I checked, every single colorway, from the green ones to these navy blue ones to the black ones to the red ones, always sold out. No matter what, the mediums were always sold out. The only thing that was in stock were either extra small or extra large. And then I finally got a notification that the mediums were available. Didn't care what color they were in. Ended up getting these dark blue ones. Absolutely love them. These are the best, I repeat, the best half tight I have tried up to this point. And they are my current race day pick when it comes to half tights. And they sort of speak for themselves. The Super Beam 7 pocket half tight, they have two very conveniently gel-sized pockets on each side, followed by a big drop-in pocket on the side, and then a very, very big back pocket. So I think you could comfortably fit at least 6, 7, 8 gels in these, along with a very big phone in the back. Nice drawstrings that really dial in the fit. And these are one of the few linerless half tights that have been comfortable without wearing a brief or having an inner liner. There is this sort of different textured panel in the, valuables region that is so incredibly soft and comfortable. And overall, I just find the material, it's polyamide and I think elastane. I don't know. It's kind of shiny. Man, the storage options and the comfortability in the Bandit Super Beam 7 pocket half tight outdoes all of these by far. So these are easily my first place pick for marathon half tights. My second place pick would be the Rabbit Speedsters. My third place pick, the Lululemon Fast and Free half tights. My fourth place pick, the Reggie half tights from Tracksmith. Those are my updated rankings for running half tights. Bandit out of New York, out of Brooklyn, representing the East Coast, absolutely killing it. There is one half tight that I didn't mention today, sort of my holy grail, my white whale of half tights. That is the Soar Marathon shorts, the Soar Marathon Speed half tights, whatever they're called. Doesn't really matter what they're called because they're almost $200, and I just cannot convince myself to pay full price for half tights that cost almost $200. Maybe one day I'll try them. I don't really like the colorways or the way they look or design the different color panels on them, so I'm okay with not trying them for now. But if you needed a reason to go get the Bandit running half tights, set every email you have to notify you when your size is available, this is it. Get these if you can, because when it comes to storage, they cannot be beat. They have 7 pockets. They're extremely comfortable. Bandit running Super Beam 7 pockets, the half tight champions. And that's all for the updated half tight rankings. We'll catch up next time. Peace.